going to talk about resource guarding among dogs and how to address it, how to fix it, why it happens. To me, the why is really the most important thing. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that excitement is the reason that your dog is, resource guarding. They're really intense about whatever object or thing they're guarding, whether that be food or a bone or a ball or a toy. This guy is here because he resource guards balls only. Food, he's fine in the sense that he's not as intense about food as he is the ball. So what's really going to fix your dog resource guarding against other dogs is you creating less intensity about that thing. Which means if your dog is resource guarding food, it's around food with other dogs, your dog has a piss poor relationship, like Vinny would say from Say It Once, a piss poor relationship with food. That means you need to start conditioning your dog to be relaxed about food. You need to condition your dog to be a little bit more relaxed about the ball or relaxed about the toy. They do not get fed if they're excited. Meaning if they're relaxed like this, totally not engaged, yes, I'll give food to that because he's relaxed, he's chilling, he's not fixated on me. So where you're actually going to fix resource guarding from dog to dog, yeah, you do need another dog, but what's more important than that is what's your dog's relationship to that thing that they're guarding? They're really intense about it. A lot of dogs who resource guard are coming from a scarcity point of view, so I use counter conditioning, meaning I use even more food when I work with dogs who are resource guarding. And I'm going to give you an example of what I'm going to do with him. I've already conditioned him to the word yes, which means he's about to get food. I've also already conditioned him to leave it. Your dog having an out or a leave it command is fundamental to them not resource guarding, not resourcing. They don't resource anything, they resource guard things. So when you're like, how do I work on my dog's resource guarding around other dogs? They are way too intense about the thing that they're resource guarding. That means you need to put stipulations and limitations on what they have. For example, I'm going to go get the ball here because he's here for going after the ball. I should be able to chuck the ball and tell him, leave it. Leave it. Leave it. Prior to this morning, he was unable to do that. Yes. That was all within a day. A few hours, if you will. So he was so intense. He was so caught up about the ball. Irving. Yes. Leave it. Yes. Use a lot of food when I deal with resource guarding. So when you're like, how can I get my dog to stop resource guarding around other dogs? Number one, get your dog to have a good relationship to relate food with calmness. Number two, you need to create more boundaries and limitations about the thing that they're resource guarding. Can you tell them to out it? Can you tell them to leave it and have them give it up? Do not give it to them if they're fixated, excited, all of that, if they're following you around for it. And then number three, you can counter condition them around other dogs. Meaning, I hope I'm still in frame here. Let me go grab the ball. So I have Artie here who's not going to push the boundaries. Irving, get that. Get the ball. Get the ball. If Artie comes around, I'm going to throw Irving food and I'm going to say yes. I'm going to toss him food. So for him to understand that another dog coming near the ball doesn't mean anything. Leave it. Also, having a good leave it command is important because I need him to disengage from the ball. Yes. Gentle with the food. When he came here this morning, he was taking half my hand off for the food. He was also obsessed with the ball, and he would not take it out of his mouth. So, resource guarding dog to dog, how do I do it? You're getting a better relationship with food so you can use food to counter condition. You're lowering the intensity about the object, creating a limitation, leave it out, whatever it is, have the dog physically disengage from that thing, and then 3, counter conditioning around another dog.